We will call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. All trustees are present. Public comments on closed session items. At this time, any person may address the board on any closed session item. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the board cannot consider issues or take action on requests during this comment period. Time is limited to 3 minutes per person per item, 20 minutes per topic. In closed session, we will be going over C1, consideration of student stipulated expulsion agreements, case 2026-02, C2, public employee performance evaluation, superintendent, and C3, conference with labor negotiators, tax, CSEA, and management. Seeing no one here, I'm going to guess that there's no public comment. We will move into closed session at 5:01 p.m. Convene to open session at 6:01 p.m. And if we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if I can get an approval of agenda order.
I make a motion to approve the agenda order.
Motion by Trustee Candelaria Orr.
I'll second.
A second by Trustee Zyklix. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, public comment on consent and non-agenda items. The public may address the board on any consent or non-agenda item pursuant to the Brown Act. During this period, the board cannot consider issues or take action on any item not listed on the agenda. Time is limited to 3 minutes per person per item, 20 minutes per topic. I'm going to assume there's no public comment. All right. Okay, so we will move on to closed session reportable action taken. There was no reportable action taken in closed session. H2, final action on student stipulated expulsion agreement, case 2026-02.
I'd like to give a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Zyklix to approve the stipulated expulsion agreement, case 2026-02.
I second.
And the second by Trustee Garrison. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, and the consent calendar. I need to read this. Okay, and we will pull item 6. Does anyone have any other items to pull? No. And with that, can I get a motion to approve items 1 through 5 and 7 and 8?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Candelaria Orr.
I'll second.
A second by Trustee Yogamian. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, and then item 6, we're just pulling, not discussing. Okay. Okay, so we will move on to association reports. CSEA does not have a report, so we will move on to Teachers Association of Cloverdale. I'm gonna guess that there's no report there either. District reports, K1, Jefferson Elementary School.
Good evening. Just one thing that is coming up. We have our family literacy night coming up next Wednesday from 5 to 6:30 in our cafe. Other than that, I was checking in on Leprechaun Trap viewings, and we're going a different route this year. So unfortunately, we don't have any viewing times for you. But we'll see what happens next year. So other than that, you have my report as submitted.
Thank you.
I'm going to go view because I like him.
We will move on to K2, Washington School.
Good evening, everybody. It's very nice to see everybody. You have my report as submitted, but you may have noticed that I left off the athletics portion. And our athletic director, Mary Beth Kelly, gave me the report and I forgot to add it in. So in her report, she was very much commenting on our wrestling and saying thank you to all of the coaches and telling the kids they did a great job. And league finals will be on March 28th. We have our female wrestlers heading to the California Middle School Wrestling Championship in Ukiah. So that's very, very exciting. And thank you for all the hard work that goes into making all of these happen. Also, I want to thank our track coaches. That would be Fred and Amber Cook. They've taken this on, and we are so thankful that they are doing this. And Fred competed in track when he was in Cloverdale Unified as a student athlete, and both he and Amber are excited to learn and teach the student athletes about the sport. And we're looking good. We have approximately 18 to 20 track stars happening, and softball is once again going. I believe our first game is tomorrow, and we have Bobby Holes and his dad Roscoe as the assistant coaching, and they're looking forward to a great season with some nice weather. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and moving on to K3, Cloverdale High School, JEH Continuation High School.
Hello, everyone. You have my report is submitted. You'll see in my report we have our WASC mid-cycle report, which is a big deal, a lot of work, a lot of energy and effort went into this. So I was just curious if anyone had any questions or comments about the report, because this is our last big step we need to do before we submit the report to the state.
My question is, once it's submitted, when do you guys get the results of it?
So the last time I was principal of a school that had a mid-cycle report, like months went by, and I finally called WASC. I was like, when are we getting the results? And they're like, well, if you don't hear from us, it's fine.
Okay.
So it's kind of like no news is good news, which
Okay.
is very frustrating because
Yeah.
you spend so much time on this report, and then it's just, oh yeah, you don't hear from us, it's okay.
And it's just, you submit the report, they don't have to come and do the...
Correct. So with the 6-year report from your self-study, which we got 3 years ago, if you get 6 years, you either get a mid-cycle report or a mid-cycle visit. And so sometimes if it's a really large school, or if there's a lot of work that the school needs to do that they've been kind of not doing for a while, they'll say, we're going to do a visit to make sure we're on top of it. So mid-cycle report is the best thing, because then you don't have to host the visiting committee and walk around. And so 3 years ago, we got just a report, which is great because we don't have to spend money on hotel rooms for the visiting committee. So, yep, it's just the report.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Moving on to K4, Special Education and Student Services Report.
You have my report as submitted. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
And moving on to K5, Maintenance, Operations, and Transportation Report, and I'm gonna say as submitted. And then moving on to K6, Business Services Report.
Okay, this month we're going to be brief because you're going to see me back up here a few more times, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about second interim. So we're going to go through this rather quickly, and as you can see, if I change the slide, then you can see forward, forward.
Is it on?
No. Thank you, Jackie. Forward. There we go. Okay. So, most of the schools, as you can see, are relatively staying the same. High school was 380, down 1 from last month. Jefferson is an anomaly because they're actually up, which is you don't usually see. JEH is holding steady at 20. Our MPS count is about 11. And Washington School is at 362. So we have a total of 1253 currently. So that's holding well. Last year at this time, we had a drop-off after Christmas break or spring break. Winter break, there we go, winter break. And we had a really steep decline, and we're not experiencing that this year. So that's a really good sign. And if anyone wants to work with me on enrollment projections for the next couple of years, let me know. Because I'm looking for trends. Okay, average daily attendance. This last month, we had 1,148.03 for month 7. And in the next, after this next month, we'll be having our P2, and that will be going to the county. So then we'll know what our funding is really going to be. This next one has been updated quite a bit since last month, and so our budgeted resources, I don't need to read each of these to you, you can read them, and our percent to date overall is it's about 62% of those funds have been received, so that's good news. Expenditures, again, these were updated to reflect second interim, and we've got about 63% of our expenditures done, so we're tracking right on where we are with our revenue. Contributions, those will happen at the end of the year. There was a minor change there to supplemental concentration funds because that changes every time you do the LCFF local control funding formula calculator. So there was a minor change to that. And then the ending fund balance at this time is, again, updated for second interim. We'll talk about that a little bit more at second interim. And the 3% reserve is met, $748,000, and the board commitment is at 1.73% of $431,849. Any questions before we go on to second interim later on? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to our student board representative.
So our AVID classes went to go tour Sonoma State, and that was pretty cool. And also our child development classes went to the San Francisco Exploratorium. And some of our FFA teams, including floral and I think vet science, went to go UC Davis and compete there, and one of our students did get, I think, an award. And FFA is going to have a field trip to state conference in Ontario next week, and next week till the following week after. And we did have Mr. Eagle canceled because most of our contestants did drop out for work schedules and all that, and they couldn't practice. But we are hoping to have a Spirit Week next week and try to finalize all senior plan activities by the end of this month.
Thank you. Thank you. And moving on to board reports.
Mine's going to be brief, if you guys don't mind if I go first. The only thing I have to report is Trustee Zekowitz and I went to Washington last week and had our coffee chat. We had a couple of people in attendance. I know that it's at 2:45 on a Thursday, but I would really encourage, if you are listening right now, we would love to have more involvement. It'd be great. I was very thankful for the 2 people who did come, so thank you so much. And it was a great discussion. It's just nice to get feedback and have a very relaxed environment to be able to have those discussions in. So thank you, Mary Beth, and thank you, Chief Parker.
I'll go. So, did the board coffee chat. That was good. I also got to attend the last basketball game for the girls team. That was good. I got to go to Preston Farms last week. That was cool with my daughter and her class. It's a really neat place. If you can volunteer as a parent, please do it. It's a really cool spot to go visit and learn all about that farm and the community. I also wanted to bring up my resignation. I just want to say it's been a pleasure serving the students in the community here the last couple of years. This was not an easy decision. I have to leave to go take care of family members in another state. So my family will be staying here, still being a part of the community and the school system. But I just wanted to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity, and thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. I believe last month we had our DLAC meeting. Learned a lot about how the strategies in the testing and how we are working with students and families to show progress. I also attended the senior night for the girls basketball. Also read to some students for the Read Across America. We read about washing our hands and listening to your parents. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Mine's short and sweet. I attended a boosters meeting. I also worked the boosters parking lot at Citrus Fair, and it's the first time in I don't know how many years that I got the ship with no rain, so that was good. Other than that, I have. Oh, sorry, Jackie. Other than that, I have nothing else to report.
Measure H was canceled. So our board, as Ms. LeVay had said in her report, we did have 2 new referrals, and we had 2 that were recalled. Unfortunately, they did not show up. So we'll recall them again. And I also got to participate in the Read Across America at Jefferson, is one of the favorite things. And the book I read is because of Winn-Dixie, and we talk about comparing and contrasting the book to the movie, and then I bring photos of my kids when they were in that grade that I read to, and then show them a picture of what they look like now so they can compare and contrast. So it's always fun. Thank you.
Sorry, didn't mean to skip you. Thank you. Superintendent report.
I don't have any report, but thank you, Chad. I appreciate your service.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to report discussion items. 01, Measure H update. And we're gonna say as submitted. 02, care report.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joanne Parker, the president of the CARE Board, Cloverdale as Resources for Education. I haven't been before the board in a while. We've been sort of in a cocoon phase, I would say, but we're hoping to come out of our cocoon now this spring. Effective today, we're changing our name to the Cloverdale Education Foundation. Of course, there's always a hiccup. I need to get one more person to sign the thing with the state, but we already got that submitted. But I haven't quite figured out how to say Cloverdale Education Foundation yet. I'm thinking to put an Italian spin on it and call it CHEF, but we're open to ideas. For those who don't know, and I'm sorry that you're departing, but let me just give you the spiel anyway. You've probably heard part of it, but CARE, the school foundation, was founded in 1992 with a group of concerned educators and administrators and community members, and has ebbed and flowed and sort of always been there and raised different amounts of money at different times. The model that we follow for helping with educational enhancements is a teacher-based model with a little bit of oomph and nudging here and there from us. We kind of view ourselves as ombudsmen. Our mission is to engage in partnerships to support educational enhancements. And so we have an application that the teachers fill out online. We check with everybody and see if it's part of your mission. We have a couple things we like to advocate for that we find brings good curb appeal to the district. And I'll just give you some examples of what we fund in a minute, but I want to emphasize that we are all volunteer and we all have kids in the district. Do we all have kids in the district right now, or are employees of the district? We have one employee left on the board from the district, and we are all, volunteers with kids in the district who also have full-time jobs. So have mercy on us as we go. And to that effect, I really want to thank the board that has been volunteering pretty consistently for the last, I would say, 7 years. We've had the same board members. We've had a couple people drop out, and I'd like to especially thank Wendy Connor, who put in a great deal of effort and retired from the board last year. And our current board members, 2 of whom are here, our newest one, Anna Charlton. You have a child at Washington and at the high school, correct? And Carrie Kelder has been on the board for a long time, and she has children at both schools. Still, no, Claire.
High school.
Right, sorry, just high school. Okay, it's been a while. And then we have Jared Olson, his daughter is at Washington, myself, my son's at Washington, and Raina Lopez, her daughter's at Washington, and then Kate Bria, who's here on staff. And who did I forget? Somebody, anybody? I think, Liz, who does not have a child in the school, but is a member of the community. The types of projects we've been funding, again, we get a lot of asks from the teachers, but they're kind of all the things you rely on. And I would say the biggest one this year is field trip support, and the biggest expense we have is buses, which is, always a hard thing to explain to the community that it costs $5,200 in busing alone to send the 8th graders to Angel Island. So at this point, this year, I think we have $20,000 worth of funding for busing for Washington alone that we're paying for. But I can go through some of those in a little more detail in a second. But field trips, because we really, really believe that the kids need to get out and experience the world. Gardens, we've seed-funded garden support at each campus to varying degrees of success. Our biggest success, of course, is the Anna Rivetta art program at Jefferson. We pay for her to come in, and it used to be just once a year, and now it's 3 times a year, once for each grade, 1st through 4th. And we all, I got kind of robbed for a few years for the pandemic, but I have all the rest of the art on the wall, so I'm sure everybody has that from their kids. We've matched the district for the mariachi camp for the summer, and we have a pending request that you don't know about yet, but for $5,000 for that. The holiday book tree was one of our board members' ideas at one point, and it's kind of got this really organic thing that the community really likes seeing the holiday book tree. It's at Dahlia and Sage during the holiday season, and we ask the librarians for a desired book list, and we hang them up on the tree, and the community connects with whatever books register for them that they want to make sure that the students have access to, so they buy the books, and then we fund the rest of the list. Trying to think if there are any other highlights I wanted to say. We're trying really hard because we're also lean here. Volunteerism is a dying art, and it's the same 5 people, or however many we are at this point, volunteering for everything. So we realize that even though the specific mission may seem different, we're all kind of at the same purpose. We shouldn't be competing with each other too much. So bless you. For example, this year we really reached out to the PTSA at Washington and said, we should all be funding field trips together and pointing in the same direction. So we fund an amount, and if the PTA can fund some, they do. And I think we're going to try to do that going forward. So we have really clear messaging that each year the 5th graders go here, the 6th graders go here, 7th graders go here, and the 8th graders go here. And here's how you can fund it, so to make sure that they can keep participating in these life-changing experiences. So that's one partnership. The other one is, and you all may have heard of this elsewhere and not realized this is happening, but SCO, the Office of Education, has schools rule. So, we nickel and dime our donors left and right. Thank you very much, the Royser family. But there are businesses and corporations in the county who don't want to pay 45 different school districts for, a donation. So schools rule has been started by the Office of Education to try to raise resources, and then they get distributed across the districts to the education foundations, or in some cases PTAs, but because we have an education foundation here, it comes to us. And I would say this year we got $3,500 from them. So I just wanted to point out that they're continuing to strive to grow their pot of money. It's not necessarily a direct one-for-one donation to us, but if you have corporations or other entities in your travels who are donating the schools rule, know that it does come in part to us. They distribute it per capita throughout the county. And they're looking to grow that. They're also looking to kick off something where we do really concentrated fundraising across all of our groups, our many, many groups, in the fall. I haven't actually talked to our board about it yet, or the PTA groups yet, but the idea would be that we would all come together, the district, the PTAs, the anybody else, and work towards a concentrated, unified fundraising plan through the schools and the community as a whole. So stay tuned on that. They had another acronym for it, and I was like, can we please just use one we already have? Like historically, CARE used to send out a letter every year, and we'll probably get back to that, but it was called the SOS letter before I got here, which was, urgent, but it stands for Support Our Schools, and so that's pretty straightforward, right? It's very directive, support our schools. That's not the acronym they came up with, so we'll see. We get to spin it however we want as a community, so think about it. Your input's welcome, and it's not us leading it. It would be very collective. We need new board members. Thank you, Anna, for showing up, because she's the first one to heed the call. Again, I do want to take a second to thank our funders, because we've had some, I don't even want to get into the details of how complex tax compliance has been for small organizations since the pandemic, and a few government closures, and nobody picking up the phone, but we're good now. And so we've had some funders who've stuck with us all along. Every single dollar we have, it goes to bare bones expenses, and the rest gets put into the kids. And so I really want to thank the Roysers, but there are a few other community members who've been consistent. Dobie Edmonds and Dick Siciliano and sorry? Will, yeah. So there's, from ACE, Will Jobson, yes. So there's, you know who they are. They're the same people that have been donating things to all of us for all this time, but I want to thank them again. So, give us your feedback, give us your, oh, I did want to say, just to give you an idea. Okay, last year we donated $61,000. This year we're planned to donate $47,000. And the splits have been a little different each time. Last year it was about 16,000 to Jefferson, 17,000 to Washington. This is not pre-planned. This is just based on organic requests. 12,000 to the high school, 4,000 mostly in field trips to JEH, who we also support. And then sort of district-wide was about 12,000, so the mariachi camp and the garden at Washington that the high school put in, we paid for that. That was 12,000. This year, the $47,000, we are doing 18,000 to Jefferson, 18,000 to Washington, 5,500 to the high school, and $287 to JEH, and then another 5,000 for the mariachi camp. Likely, we haven't programmed that yet. So that's the scale of the impact. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Send all your donors our way. Give us money.
And we'll move on to O3 MTSS update.
If you want to go to the next one. you can.
Okay, we'll go to,
So just know that it might come up any.
okay, O4 requested letter of support for the Sonoma County Smart Train.
So we, in your packet, you will notice that we got a request from, and what we have in there, you see the email that's in there, and also I gave you in the packet the last two letters that the district has sent in support of that. So the request, and then also we had the Geyserville School District sample letter in there as well. So I serve at the pleasure of the board, and so anytime we do any type of correspondence, we will get support from the board. So I guess would await your direction.
Any comment or input?
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I had asked this question previously, but I can ask again just for clarity. Since we have already done it, my question was, is it something that gets submitted to the state regularly, and that's why another letter is being requested?
That is my understanding, yes. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that
Sure,
with a different hat that you have on.
Again, hello, Joanne Parker, Grants and Legislative Affairs Manager for the Smart District. So to be clear, it is a joint application that Sonoma County is the lead, and it has three components to it. I don't know, I haven't looked at your packet, so I don't know what's in there. The first component is it's all project development to advance the completion of the Asti crossing of the Russian River, the Asti Bridge, permanent crossing of the Russian River, pedestrian and bicycle improvements in downtown Cloverdale and in the Alexander Valley apartment, the whole connectivity on both sides of the highway, and the smart rail and pathway between Healdsburg and Cloverdale. So it's project development. It's a discretionary grant. They come up all the time, and so the ones that you've signed before, there were two. One was to the state, and I don't know exactly which one it is, but I think it's the one that got funded. The SMART is under construction to Healdsburg right now, and so that was one of the requests, was a big ask of the state to advance from Windsor, where we opened in June of 2025, to Healdsburg. Is that the letter that's in there to the state?
Yeah, and that one was
Okay.
2022, and then
Yeah,
this last
that one got funded, and then the
last one we did was in 2020, 2 years ago.
Yes, so the one that got funded to the state was a SMART-specific, advanced SMART, keep coming north. The one that did not get funded last year, that is a repeat this year, is the joint application that I just described with Sonoma County as the lead. That one's a discretionary, both of them are discretionary grants. We send out thousands of them, and we partner with a lot of parties on them. We are optimistic about this round. made we've made the secretary's desk a number of, the past 2 or 3 times that we've submitted this application, that the county has submitted this application. So third time's the charm. We've gotten as close as you can get without winning it. So this is what we do all day long, is like, try to advance it. So I think one thing to your question, sorry to go on, but that's the nature of the project and the business. To your question is if you want to endorse like go ahead and write letters for whatever the project is. I mean, that's your board's call.
So then my next question would be, can we just use the same letter and change the date on it? Would that satisfy, so that we're not?
It's a different secretary.
I mean,
yeah.
You know what I
The
mean, like,
details. The
adjust it.
content of this one's the same as last year.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
2 years ago. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's why I put the Geyserville one in, because that's
Yeah.
the one that was asked. But yeah, the only difference really is a different person.
Correct.
Okay.
I think it went. I think the cost went up like 600,000 or something. But I sent you the Geyserville one so you could see that Geyserville's engaged at this point as well. And I think we have 35 other letters on this particular application. So, your call. I mean, we believe firmly in inviting everyone to express their support or not, because we want you to know that we're working hard, and if you want to help advocate, it works. I mean, we got $270 million worth of discretionary grants over the past 3 years for Healdsburg. So that project's scheduled to open at the end of 2028 now. Thanks to 45 different letters of support in each application.
Well, I will say, I mean, obviously you're looking for direction, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm all for it. So definitely, my opinion, I'm happy to have that letter drafted and names changed and good to go. But that's obviously just my opinion.
Is that a motion?
Oh, yes. I didn't think we were, it was just, yeah. I was gonna say, please tell me I'm reading this agenda properly.
Yeah, no, it's just
Okay,
direction.
okay.
I mean, if it's not taking away a lot of time for you, then that's fine. It's fine. I don't.
I believe you have a draft letter.
That's my point too, is as long as it's not taking away time from you
Yeah.
doing, and this is helpful, so I'm fine having you submit a letter.
I just, for us in Cloverdale, it feels like the train to nowhere. It's never gonna get here, so I'm like kind of, I'll believe it when I see it, but if it's not gonna take away other time, that's fine. Another.
No comment.
Okay, I have my direction.
And are we ready for MTSS?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Tori, can you hear us?
Yes, hi, good evening.
Can we turn her up a little bit? Give us 1 second. Thank you, ladies, we appreciate it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay.
Great, good evening, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay.
Ready for me to go?
I think, give it 1 second here so we can see. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, great. Well, good evening. I'm Tori Ballou. I'm a program manager with West Ed, and I've been working with Cloverdale for the last few years. This is year 3 of our MTSS implementation so far this year. We've completed 2 cycles of our database decision making and with the sites and the district level. We've reviewed data at both the site and district level. We've also discussed the implementation of an SEL screener at the district level. Will be upcoming in the next couple of months. We've distributed the MTSS staff survey, and we'll be reviewing those results in April and completing a self-assessment for the second time. We'll be using both of those data points to, we'll combine those data points to look at future, for the fall, they'll be using those to set goals and look at big rocks and where they want to move forward in the upcoming years as far as their implementation goes and sustainability. In May, we'll look at the end of year data, and see how they performed as the whole year. And we'll take all of that data combined and choose big rocks for the upcoming school year and determine what their goals will be for the upcoming school year. So we've been working on sustainability all year. And so that self-assessment will be a nice progress report for them to look at where they still need to shore up and how I can support them with that.
Yeah, and I would say to add to that, we are looking at this next year. Well, currently, right now, we're looking at getting a new curriculum for math for, is it K to 8? Is that what we're looking at, K to 8?
Yes.
Yeah, and so really, I mean, what Tori's and Wested has been able to help us is really with the process. It's really difficult kind of right now without having a curriculum to be able to really advance this part here without having the curriculum. But I think what was good about Tori is the process itself of how we're looking at things, how we're developing goals, how we're analyzing the data is really what we've been trained to do. Now we just kind of need to get the core part in there that we can then use, so that way everything's a lot more consistent, right, on what everybody's doing. And there's a little bit more of a pathway, so to speak, that there's all this connectivity for that part. So on that, the plan is that we have a group of both from Jefferson and Washington looking at different curriculum for math that we're going to do some piloting next school year, so that this time, maybe next year, we'll start talking about making the purchase for our new curriculum. Basically, the state just came out with the math curriculums that have been approved, and so we're doing that. So we're looking at probably maybe 2 of them to look at, 3 of them then to look at doing a little piloting and so on. So any questions? So I just wanted to bring that part up. But then, of course, we'll move on to other curriculums. But the math one seems to be one we're really don't have right now.
That's a big topic in a lot of my districts right now, I think, is math.
And part of it is the fact that they've been talking about new math curriculum, but they haven't come out with it. So I can totally get why the district has waited, because they haven't come out with it.
Yeah.
Right, much like the new generation science standards, right? They talked about it for a while and they didn't come out with anything for a little while, right? So we're not like Tori's saying, we're not behind anybody. I'm just saying that's kind of the process that we're following. But it really feels like that the training has been great as far as understanding what it means once we get that data, right? Understand how to develop that. So.
And now that you have approved curriculum from the state, you have suggestions, and I think they've done a good job now of setting up the opportunities for you all to review those different curriculums and evaluate them. We've talked a lot about setting up rubrics and piloting, and how to establish a good core, and how to establish fidelity to the core. So I think you're in a really good place now to pilot and implement that.
You guys have any questions? Thank you, Tori.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Sorry for the delay.
You're welcome. I'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, moving on to 05, filling board vacancies.
So as Mr. Zakowicz alluded to, so we now have, as of tomorrow, we have a vacancy on the school board. So Ed Code basically says that we need to be able to fill that seat within 60 days, as long as the next election is farther than that. So you do have a choice. You could do a special election, or you could do appointment. My suggestion would be an appointment. Special elections are expensive.
Yeah.
Given the state of our budget,
Exactly.
I would say
Yeah.
an appointment.
Yeah.
Well, I would say even if we were flush, I would still just do an appointment.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to do that. So what we're going to need to do, what you basically need to do is, because most of it has to do with Chad's, I'll commend Chad. Chad's did the right thing as far as you have to, in order to be able to resign, you have to send a letter to the county superintendent suggesting, saying that, and then they respond to us, which they have. And then really everything else is pretty much dedicated by Ed Code. But what we need to look at, what I'd like you to look at, is we need to figure out kind of dates, and then kind of work backwards. What we also put in here was your last school board vacancy announcement. So I'm sure you've been in your packet, so if you have any, and again, it's pretty standard language. So if you have any additions or anything like that you'd like to do, where you could really come in, have some say in would be, what do you want them to put in their application, right? Do you want letters? Do you want to fill out like a fillable application? How do you want to do it, or both, right? So right now it looks like you have an application, a letter of interest, and then a resume for that part. I suggest that you keep the application. The other parts are really up to you. In my previous, my experience has been is that we've just done an application. I've never done a letter, but that's totally, completely up to you guys as far as that goes. So understanding also that this person that you appoint will have to run again in November for the 2 years left on the seat. And so, like I always have done, is that to me would be one of the questions I would like to know is, are you interested in just filling it for 6 months? Or are you interested in filling it for the remainder of the term? Now, granted, they could not win the term, right? But that's has nothing to do with the interest, right? You also know, probably, or if you don't, that all these questions and interviews will be during open session. So we won't do it during a regular board meeting. We'll have a special board meeting just for that. And you'll literally have questions that you're asking everybody. We ask if you have multiple candidates, we ask the other ones to step out, but we can't force them to step out because it's a public meeting. I've never found anybody that said, no, I'm not leaving. And then the most awkward part is you have to deliberate in open session. So you have to talk about the candidates in front of the candidates, potentially.
That was my very first board meeting
Again,
ever.
in my history, it's probably been 50-50 whether or not the candidates stuck around to hear you discuss them. There's really no way to get around that awkwardness for that part. It is you basically have 2 criteria to be a board member. You got to be over 18. You got to live within the district. Is the main thing, and the other one would be the ability to hold an office, right? So questions that you guys might have.
I don't have questions, but I like the letter of interest still because it shows me personality on paper, which I appreciate, but also I don't feel like it's redundant. And I like the idea of asking different questions that would show me something a little bit different about them, I guess.
So the application or information page, letter of interest, but maybe not the resume?
I'm good without a resume, but I
Because I
mean.
can ask the questions that I have.
But I think
Because
we
really,
have
I
to
mean-
ask the same questions. You
Right.
can't.
We'll have probably at the next meeting, or we'll have a board agenda item. We'll talk about the questions you want to ask.
So the ones that are in this packet could possibly change? The appointment
Yeah, these are
interview
just
questions?
examples. Yeah, unless you guys want to talk about it now, we can certainly do that and change them.
One of my questions is, what if we don't get anyone to apply for the appointment?
There's a ed code for that.
Plan B?
I can't remember what it says. The reason why I'm saying that is because, do you know, Krista?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I do.
The reason why, because we have.
It might be in our board policy, but I was just
Cup
curious.
and Potter, there were
I know,
clamoring.
can you imagine? So, we had that happen, and you have to apply to the State Board of Education for a waiver of that ed code that says that you have not fulfilled having a board member within 60 days. And you have to go through that process, and that takes a lot longer too, and I'm not sure what that will mean to the November election, because they have to file, by August? So this could be an interesting timeline if we don't get an applicant.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that.
No,
We can't talk about it into existence.
no, come on, community.
So, yeah, I mean, really, I mean, to be honest, the sooner we can know this, the sooner we can get it out, right? So if you guys want to look at the interview questions, or if you're fine with where they are, I'm fine. That way we can just start doing what we need to do to be able to go with our timeline.
Can we all email you individually with questions that we would like to add, or also say, I don't care about this question, and let you
You guys can certainly do
nitpick
that if
it all
that's what
back
you want to do.
together, just to keep it I mean, I mean,
I like these questions personally,
I feel like
so.
Why can't you just do it right now?
oh yeah, we could do that too.
Because I really don't want to be the one asking the questions. It has nothing to do with me. I don't really want to.
Oh, no, I meant
Elect
like
my
you
own
just
boss.
You would compile it.
And send it back.
But I
to
like
all
having
of us.
10 because there is
Yeah.
a limited amount of time that we
Agreed.
have.
Yeah,
We generally do a half an hour.
Yeah, the question is.
What do we think?
I like them all, so that'll
Let's-
just be.
well, let's
Well-
start with the questions.
My only,
Go ahead. Question number 8, I don't know why we need that question. Personally,
yeah,
I don't,
I think it's a little redundant, don't
I
you?
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah. Okay, you got that. Okay, so
Is there one that we would
want?
want to add?
Everyone agrees to strike
Yeah,
it then?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, I mean, I don't think more is better necessarily. I think,
Oh, yeah.
you know, because I think it's gonna go.
Sometimes repetition happens, whenever especially people get nervous, and I think maybe the fewer questions that they can prepare for more thoroughly wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay,
I mean,
get
I
rid of
just,
8?
I feel like, yeah, 8, but, for me, I feel like when I got onto the board, when I ran for the board, I thought I researched, I talked to people to prepare myself for what I was coming into, but I had no idea until I got in here. I feel
Is that
like
still
the
true?
question, well, some days, yeah. There's always something new.
But are you thinking there could be a question that
Like,
could,
something like, what have you done to prepare for the commitment you're making?
isn't that kind of number 1 though?
Or do you really know what
That's
you're getting
why
yourself into?
interested,
Just be
but not
prepared.
what you have done to prepare for this commitment. 'Cause
Okay.
it
I
is-
feel like this is an awkward situation though, because you don't necessarily know that an appointment is gonna happen for running for
Right,
the
but
actual.
but when you decide to put your application in though, like,
That's true.
we could only have one person, and then we're like, okay, cool, you just walked in off the street and someone said, hey, fill this application out, come in, it's like,
Well, generally they'll walk in
What
off
have
the
you
street
done?
anyway because you have to take the street to get here.
yeah, I mean, that's
No,
just,
I agree.
that's a question that I would ask.
Well,
Okay.
like, I attended the board meetings for probably a year before.
Right.
I attended a few
Yeah,
before I
get
ran.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Does everybody want to add that?
Is everyone okay with adding?
I'm fine with
No?
that.
I mean, because they could,
Then we
Please
keep it
tell
at
us how
10.
you've prepared for,
yeah, and maybe it's not like, oh, I didn't do much to prepare, but these are other things I've done,
yeah.
Okay.
you know?
All right. What about the application? You guys fine with the information page?
I'm fine with the information page. I mean, and I know we're in a rush, so I don't want to put too much on it, but I
We're not
do
in a
like
rush.
the idea of letters of support because it is, you're
it's like a
Support from
job
who?
interview, like I
just
always write.
support, like, what do we say?
So like letters of rec
Letters
or?
of references. I just feel like.
That's not what she said, letter of
Oh,
interest.
sorry, no, I didn't mean, oh, no, sorry, I jumped forward.
Oh,
She was
So this is
switching from
just
the
Sorry, yeah, I
interview
switched.
questions
To the
now
information
the-
page.
Yeah.
Right, no, I know. But, so
Yeah.
right now, we have the interview, the information page and the letter of interest. And I'm hearing that a resume is not necessarily,
I don't care about it.
No, I don't.
No
Okay.
resume needed.
so then, then we have the questions, we talked about that. Then on the information page, is that what you're talking about?
No,
Okay.
I said I was fine with the information page.
Me too.
So you want to
I
add
was
something?
jumping to like letters of recommendation.
Which I
I
think
just
could
feel like-
accompany your information page or
But,
your.
but if we're not going to put it on there, then we're not requiring them to do it. That's what I mean, so that's what I'm asking. Did you want letters of recommendation? I guess my devil's advocate of me is, what,
I just feel like,
if I'm a
okay,
person that's
so
running for the thing, why am I getting people's letter of recommendation? I don't understand that. What are they recommending?
you for the board,
I know, but,
like that they support
Oh.
you, think you would be a good candidate, because essentially, like, I mean, I know we only had
So
three
letters of
that
character,
didn't have
like-
anyone to run against, but
okay.
we are, first, I mean, we are representatives of our constituents, so
Okay,
I just would like to know that other people in our community have support for whoever's putting their hat in there.
Because you figure
And
we
how
do
many you
have to
wanting?
have,
because then the problem is you're
Can we
gonna,
just recommend, like,
but then
can it
you're
just be
gonna
a
run into,
recommendation? They
but
don't
then
have
you're
to,
gonna run
but,
into where people might say, well, if I have 3, is that better than a person that has 2,
yeah.
right?
but we still make it for a point.
I'm just,
I know, I just,
It's kind of
because
last.
remember,
I
it's
yeah,
it's somewhat of a contest, right? So
Yeah.
am I gonna want 10 letters as opposed to somebody having 2 letters? Am I gonna want, I just.
I get what you're
think-
saying.
Because normally, like at a job interview, right, or a job application, they'll say 2 to 3 letters of recommendation, right? So if we don't do that, but this is a little bit different than that to me. We
will.
can certainly do it. I'm just trying to, I think we need to put parameters in what we're asking for.
Okay.
I like.
Could end up with 30.
I like
Yeah.
the letters of character only because whenever you run, you have to get 200 signatures, right? Of people who actually are registered voters that support you running for. So
Or
what
you
I'm
could
saying
pay.
is this could be the equivalent of that since we're appointing someone as opposed to someone doing a formal campaign, like what will happen in November. So I'm good at like 2, make it manageable.
But the difference,
But-
again, the difference here is that
They might submit
they have to
and then
interview
5
for the
more.
job, so if people have a problem with them,
okay.
they can come and speak at the board meeting about it, right?
Throw
Or
away
in
your
the ballot
letters.
box, you don't really have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
That's,
that
yeah,
makes sense too.
okay.
Would we?
I just would be caution about making it too difficult,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or it becoming more of a contest to figure out how many, or like I said, you could literally get 100 names in somebody's.
Well, I mean, then that.
Would we get the candidate's information, or whoever's applying for it ahead of time or at the meeting? To review
That's a
everything?
good question.
It's in the board packet.
Okay, so it would be
Yeah,
on the board.
yeah.
You'd have it in time to have it in the board
Yes.
packet so we can preview it.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. Because they know once they submit their application, that's part of what you say on there, that it becomes public record.
Okay.
Correct.
I just
And
want
that's
to make
another
sure we're
thing,
not,
too, that we gotta be worried about.
I can't remember that we're not reading everything the night of.
Right. That's another thing too, you gotta be conscious of too, is it's a public record thing, right? So some people might support somebody that doesn't want to put their name out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you've gotta think about that too.
Okay, I'm fine.
So just to recap, so we're gonna do information page, letter of interest, and then do you like the look, kind of the little questions that are there? Why do you wanna be a school board member? Just for them to, okay? And then, also the questions, but we're adding the one that says, what have you done prepared for this to be a board member, basically?
And removing
And
number
removing
8.
And removing number 8. Okay, got it. Well, but we need to know how much time we need.
You have to do it within 60 days of his resignation.
I know, but we don't want to do it in 60 days, we want to do it within 60 days. So, yeah, I mean, we could set that date. But we have to give it, can't remember off the top of my head how much time we have to give it in the paper or out there for people to be able to, I think it's at least 2 weeks, right?
I thought it was 2 weeks.
So this is,
Does
we're
it
talking
say
more
in
like
board policy?
towards the end of April? So you guys want to look towards the end of April?
Oh, lordy.
Well, you know what, we're going to have a board meeting by then anyway, so let's just do it. We get, huh?
We have a
Yeah,
board
so let's
meeting
just, we'll talk, we'll
April 8th.
finalize it then.
Okay, can we have it on that board meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
Or-
not the
or-
interviews, but we'll have it on exactly what it looks
But we
like.
want to advertise.
Yeah, we're gonna
Prior.
advertise before then, so we'll get everything.
Oh, I see. Wait, what's our
prepared.
60-day mark? When do we have to have it
So let's
done
go.
by? What is
I know,
that?
but we'll just, we're going to have a date that we have, that we're going to leave it out there that we're going to collect them by, right?
Okay.
Which should probably be by, if we get it out there, let's say, by the end of the week, let's say, for example, and we need to give it 3 weeks, we'll already have them back. It doesn't mean we have to put on there when the interview is going to be,
Oh, okay, yeah.
right? We just have to make sure we do that. So we're going to collect them.
So that they're available to attend that interview.
Let's make a date.
We can do a timeline, we can look at everything tomorrow.
Well, let's just set a date right now, and just, we can always change it if we need to. So let's
Because
do,
on the vacancy announcement, it states what date they will be selected at the public board meeting.
oh, I didn't see that. I've never done that. Okay, even better.
So, wait, what's our 60-day?
May 11th or May 10th if it's 60 days.
Okay, that's a
It's
Sunday.
less than that, because it's the day that you submitted it to SNO, which the paperwork is on my desk. actually.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, it'd be the day that
That's
Jack,
From the
day.
12th, from his
Tomorrow.
resignation.
So,
really?
Really?
Okay.
Okay. Well, definitely not during spring break, because
Yes, it does say that on board policy. Files resignation with the county superintendent.
Okay. So, let's look at a date. How about April 27th?
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
I can do that.
Does that fit our 60-day timeline? Yes.
Do you recall when you said?
About the 27th of April.
What?
Tuesday and Wednesdays work for you, or?
That doesn't work, Mondays don't work for you?
I can figure it out. I would just.
Well, no, it's okay, I'm just throwing out a date.
I mean, I have no idea
I
because.
prefer Tuesday.
Okay, let's look at
Tuesdays
Tuesday.
are more open,
Tuesday.
sorry. Not to be difficult.
We can keep it on Wednesday, we can do the 29th.
That would be,
Everybody, that work for everybody?
It's. I have no idea. I don't
Can't or
know.
can't?
I'll make it work. Just let me know. It's sure. 29th.
sure.
Wednesday the
Right now, you don't
29th.
have anything,
I
but you
don't have.
don't know. You
I
guys
don't
have to
know.
the other one.
Yeah, I gotta
That's why I
check
put it
my.
out there soon enough, you can say, no, I
Yeah.
can't do that because I already have a board meeting.
Yeah.
We have a board meeting on the 29th?
No.
No.
We're setting.
Oh, oh, no, I was, okay.
Ooh, and does the student rep get to be part of it too?
Yeah,
Does student rep have any comments of, including questions, or do you have any input for that interview? The interview questions?
No, I looked at all of them a few days ago. I think they're pretty solid. I think if I have any, I might just think of them later on and ask later.
and what's the earliest you guys can start? 5? 5
Fine.
work?
Fine. Yeah.
I can start earlier than that,
I
so.
know, but you gotta be worried about people though, because they might not be able to do it at 5.
But if you're a school board trustee,
But I mean-
you gotta be available.
But 5 would work, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you write that down?
At 5 PM, yes.
Mhm.
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
And when would, if they do get chosen at that April 29th meeting, then they would get sworn in then, or not until the
May.
next? At the May meeting?
The regular board meeting.
We have to have it seated.
So then we have to have another special board meeting? Can we swear
No,
them
but
in
I'm
that
wondering,
night?
can you do it during a special?
I think we have in the past, I believe so.
Can we get clarification?
Yes, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Because then,
And then a couple other
Otherwise,
questions. you
then we
got.
have to do it April 8th. Because if it has to be a special board meeting and it has to be before May, then that has to be on the 8th.
Okay. Okay,
That
got
we
it.
interview them. So if it has to be at a regular board meeting, not a special,
It doesn't have to be a regular, they're asking about swearing him in, if we have to swear him in at the next one, he could swear him in actually, in all reality.
No, but I'm
right, but
wondering
aren't
if-
they not officially a board member or seated board member until they're sworn in?
Correct.
Correct, but he could, he can swear them in himself in his office. by
Oh,
him,
okay.
But that's not usually what we do, we usually have the board president do it.
I think we'll be fine, but I just need to double check that.
Okay.
So tentatively, April 29th.
Correct.
Okay. We're good, we can move on?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, P1, consideration and acceptance of donations. PG&E Blackbaud Giving Fund donated $40 JH, Dolph Green donated $50 to CHS Prom Fund, Cloverdale Automotive donated $100 to CHS Prom Fund, Aaron Mavis donated $40 to CHS Prom Fund, Kathy Bria donated $50 to CHS Prom, an anonymous donor donated $100 Barnes & Noble gift card to Jefferson Library, West Coast Sourdough donated $615 to Washington School Volleyball, Washington PTA donated $63.30 to Washington School Disc Golf Club, and an anonymous donor donated $30 to Cloverdale High School.
Well, on top of making a motion,
To accept all of those wonderful donations, thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by trustee Candelaria Orr and a second by trustee Ogamian. Preferential?
Aye.
Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, P2, notice of Cloverdale Unified School Districts, Cloverdale Teachers Association Sunshine Proposal for 25-26 and 26-27 school years.
That's all you need to do.
Okay. Alright. P3, consideration and possible approval of the tentative bargaining agreement with the California School Employees Association Chapter 170 and Me Too for Management, excluding the superintendent for the 24-25 school year. Does anybody have any?
AB 1200's been done, that's what's in your packet, so we just need is an acceptance.
I'll make a motion.
We have
Keep
a
on doing
motion
that.
by trustee Candelaria Orr, a second by trustee Zeglitz. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No, no one is absent. Okay, P4, consideration and possible acceptance of the 2024-2025 Measure H Bond Building Fund Audit Report.
There were no audit exceptions, so as submitted.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Do you have a motion to accept?
I'll keep going, guys. So I'll make a motion to approve. To accept 2024-2025 Measure H Bond Building Fund Audit Report.
Okay, a motion to accept by trustee Candelaria Orr. I'll second. A second by trustee Garrison. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay. P5, consideration and possible approval of 2025-2026 second interim report.
Okay. So as you know, the second interim report is the second time that we report on our 25-26 fiscal status. And what is very important is, are we going to make our bills for the current year and for the next 2 years out? This is how you not get in the paper, is you have a positive certification. So we are going to be unusual in Sonoma County and not get in the paper. We have a positive certification recommended for you. Yay! Yeah. Okay, so first the question is, where are we getting our money? And the main thing is where we get our unrestricted revenues from is from the local control funding formula. That's our state aid. Then we have the local control funding formula property tax. And then we have any sort of other state aid, which is like mandated costs that we get, things like that. And then the other is local, and that is mainly interest and use of facilities and things like that. So that's where our revenue comes from. And then this is not really changed from first interim. We have enrollment, the enrollment that counts for us is the enrollment that's taken in October, and that is the 1,248. That's the one that everything is based on for us. Then we have two different types of ADA. We have the ADA that is our actual, and right now it's tracking at about that 1150-48 number. That's our estimate for P2. And then we have our funded number, and our funded number is 1198.74, which is, if you look at this box, you look at this box, it's 1198.74, and this is the same number here because that was our actual last year. Before that, we're running on a 3-year average, and going forward into the next 2 years, we'll be running on a 3-year average cycle as well. And then expenditures for the unrestricted funds, we have certificated, classified, and benefits. And those three things take up about 88% of the unrestricted funds. And then we have supplies, and we have operating expenditures, which is like PG&E, water, legal expenses, things like that. And none of those things had really big changes or really big swings for us from first interim to second interim. Then we have the components of ending fund balance, and this is where we have so a little bit of changes, and that is what our committed is. The committed is what the board's goal of having a 7% above the 3% reserve is, and as you can see for 25-26, after our settlement with the teachers and with classified and management, the estimated ending fund balances is $400 $631,849 for committed, and then the economic reserve for uncertainties is $748,737, so that's our 3%. And we make the 3% all the way across the board for 26, 27, and 27, 28. But you can see that the committed does go down in those out years, and we are going to have to watch that and look at that for deficit spending over the next couple of years. So we've got some things we have to watch and some work to do. When you have declining enrollment, you have to have declining expenses. So what's next? Right now, we have a positive certification, which is awesome. And then the bad news is we do still have declining enrollment for the most part, especially comparatively over the last couple of years. We have P2 attendance coming up, which is the one that we're funded on. And this is the last attendance period ending on or before April 15th. So we'll find out then kind of what our dollars are really going to be. Then we also have, the governor will come out with the May revise. He came out with his January adoption that Glenn reported on last month. And then they're going to come out, they do their little thing, the legislature wants this, and the governor wants this, and then he comes out with the May revise that hopefully they'll be able to come together on. And then that's what we will base our June adoption on. That's what the June budget will be. So then we work on budget development, and we have the 2 board meetings in June for the local control accountability plan and for the budget adoption. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. Someone have any comments or discussion? If not, can I get a motion to approve the second interim report
With a positive
with
distinction.
a positive distinction?
I'll make a motion with the positive, right?
To approve.
Yes, to approve, please. Sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by trustee Candelaria Orr and a second by trustee Ogamian. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
With the caveat that we have work to do.
Yes.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, P6.
Thank you.
Consideration and possible revision to board policy 5112.5, open closed campus.
So there's a discrepancy between what the board policy says and what the handbook says right now. So we would like some clarification about what the board's interest is. Right now, it says that 9th and 10th grade students will not be able to leave campus. And then also it says 11th and 12th grades can leave campus if they demonstrate good judgment. So we just need to make sure that those two align going into next year especially.
That's board policy, but what's being done? Everyone's allowed to leave.
Yeah, the handbook says,
This includes students going yet to their cars. It doesn't specify, so I'm guessing it means all students.
Correct.
well, I would say let's just change board policy to match what they're already doing, because if they're having issues, I feel like staff would be coming and not putting that in their student handbooks. So I would support changing the board policy.
Okay.
Yeah, my concern is how much staff time would it take to enforce what the current board policy says versus what it is now. So I would be willing to change board policy. I'm curious what staff's input is.
Yeah, am I allowed to ask someone in the audience opinion on this, or is that?
Of course, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, yes, please.
I know, because I'm wondering if there's not been any issue, then I'm fine. But if there has been any concerns with having all 9 through 12,
So I can talk a little bit about off-campus. So I asked Mr. Stewart about this, and he said that I think back in the day, it used to be upperclassmen off-campus, lowerclassmen on campus, which is, of course, is a nightmare to policy. And then around the COVID times, it kind of went back to all students are eligible to go off campus. And so if we notice that some students are getting consistently tardy to that 5th period class, we can restrict them. So there's been numerous students that we've said, hey, you've had way too many tardies coming back from lunch. We're giving you a 1 week you must stay on campus. And so that's generally how we solve it. And when we do that, students don't like that, obviously, and then that behavior goes down.
If we were going to change board policy to say all students, do we need to add a caveat in board policy that gives them, like, just so everything is aligned?
I think if you just use the word privilege, I think.
Privilege,
it would be
okay.
fine.
Okay, that's general enough.
What I can do is once we get direction, then I'll bring the writing next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we're not looking at changing this currently, we're looking at just going forward as far as for next year. So I just wanted to kind of get it because it was just out of line a little bit. We don't want to make.
So it's more, we're giving you direction
Yeah.
and you'll bring
As
it
far as
back.
what we want to do, and then we'll. come
Possible
back with
revision, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And break is still closed campus, and all students know that, so students cannot leave at break. Everyone knows that, even going off to their car off campus, it's only lunch.
I guess, does our student board rep have any input on this one?
No, I think it sounds like a good idea. I think that it's been working well, and I think less students have been becoming tardy for their 5th period or their period after lunch. So I think restricting it to only upperclassmen would cause more issues, because I think that students regardless would, or underclassmen regardless, would go with their upperclassmen friends and go out. So I think that aligning the what it says in here to what students are actually doing should just be easier for everyone involved.
Okay.
Do you have enough direction?
Yeah, like I said, I think we can use privilege, then I think it's.
Okay. So then we will not take action on that. You have directions.
Correct.
We will move on to P7, consideration and possible approval on resolution 226-10, elimination of permanent classified employee services, 0.625 FTE.
Can I was just gonna make a motion.
Yeah, I just, if you want, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's just a job that is no longer needed.
Okay, so can I make a motion
You
to
can make-
approve Resolution 226-10, elimination of permanent classified employee services?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Candelaria Ort and a second by trustee Zykowicz to approve resolution 226-10. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. P8, consideration and possible approval on resolution 226-11 regarding certificated reduction in force, which is 1.0 FTE layoff.
And we are also similar here, as you see in there for declining enrollment, we'll have to project the funding.
Does anybody have any questions on this one? No? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay. A motion by trustee Zykowicz to approve resolution 226-11. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by trustee Candelaria Ort. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. And P9, consideration of second reading and possible approval of board policy and administrative regulation 1445, response to immigration enforcement.
Okay, two.
Move to approve.
Yep.
So we have
P9.
a motion by trustee Garrison.
I'll second it.
A second by trustee Agamian. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent. Okay, future agenda items. Any future agenda items we need to bring back?
We've got the two, obviously, that are coming back.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to, oh, sorry.
Future board meeting dates, April 8th. Regular board meeting, 6 PM, May 13th, which now there will be another one in April. Tentatively, April 29th, June 17th at 6 PM, and June 18th at 6 PM. And motion
To adjourn at 7:15.
Okay. Trustee Candelaria Orr made a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Second by trustee Garrison. Preferential?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no one is absent.